If you have reached a point where pushing through just isn't possible anymore, here is what might be happening. Many people with MECFS notice a moment when their usual way of coping stops working. The body no longer responds to willpower, nor pacing, or even determination in the way it once did. Welcome. I am Amy Amaya and I live with MECFS, and in this channel, we make sense of what this condition is all about. You might be noticing a clear drop in what your body can manage. Tasks that felt stable for a long time now take more out of you than you would expect. What makes this confusing is that nothing obvious changes on the outside. It's just a sense that your body isn't responding to the way it used to. Many people assume this means they are losing strength or discipline. But in MECFS, it usually means the system has been compensating quietly for a very long time, and now it can't stretch beyond its limits anymore. MECFS changes how the body handles energy, recovery, and also sensory input. The system becomes less flexible, so it can't buffer stress the way a healthy body normally can. When you have been close to your limit for a while, even small demands can tip the balance. The body responds by pulling back sharply to prevent deeper instability. So it's actually a protective response. Now, in MECFS, pushing harder doesn't lead to normal fatigue. It can trigger actually a full crash. That's why the point where you can't push through anymore arrives long before it looks serious from the outside. This pattern often indicates that your baseline has shifted. Your body is asking for a different level of input than before. It doesn't point to a permanent decline, and that is something you should remember. It doesn't mean you have damaged something. It doesn't mean you have done anything wrong. It is just a sign that your system is overwhelmed and trying to stabilize itself. Sometimes this shift is simply the result of life happening around you. We cannot control every variable, and the body reacts to that reality. So when the system is in this state, it treats every demand as if they are just too much. That reaction isn't about your mindset or your character. Please remember that. It's about a nervous system, an energy system that are trying to protect themselves. So it's actually your body doing something good. Understanding this shift helps you kind of make sense of your symptoms without fear. It gives you a clearer sense of what your body is communicating instead of assuming the worst. You might try lowering the intensity of whatever you are doing and giving yourself more quiet space than usual. This could mean like simplifying a task, for example, or pausing or stopping earlier than you think you need to, or even stepping away from a situation for a while. If your body feels unsettled, you can shift towards something that asks less of your system. For example, less movement, less thinking, less sensory input. Even small adjustments can create more stability. You might also give yourself permission to stop in the middle of a task instead of finishing it out of like following your normal habits. Allowing the body to set the pace can reduce the pressure it's been carrying. Now, if you're unsure what to do next, Choosing the option that feels better is often enough. You don't need a plan or a sequence or a complicated, protocol. You just need a moment where your system is not being pushed. The aim is not to withdraw from your life. I know some of us have already had to shrink life more than we ever wanted. I have experienced that, and there may not be much left to reduce at this point. But hear me out. What matters here is seeing this as a temporary shift in how you support your system. You need to be kinder with yourself. And when you give your body and brain a little more space, you can create the conditions for things to settle and slowly regain some stability. Remember, we are not looking for a cure at this point. We are just aiming for stability. When you reduce the load, your body has fewer signals to process. It is quite simple when you set it in that way. The thing is that it gives the system room to settle instead of reacting to every single thing. So, less stimulation means the nervous system isn't constantly pushed into alert mode. So, with fewer inputs to manage, your body can stay within a range it can actually hold. And over time, this creates a more predictable baseline, a kind of steadier baseline, which helps the system shift out of constant protection mode and into something calmer and more manageable. This isn't about fixing the condition. It's about giving your body the conditions it needs to stop spiraling into PEM and to find a new level of stability that it can sustain. Now, please remember, stabilization takes time. Your capacity might fluctuate before it settles into something clearer, but it's okay. Take things at the pace your body can actually hold right now. And if this helped, you can stay with me for the next one. We'll take it one step at a time. Ciao, ciao.